our second speaker in Lightning Round will be Shalini, who's a good friend and a colleague at Google. She heads product for AndroidTV and brings lots of insights of her media learning from YouTube years into AndroidTV. She's going to talk about from IIT to media, infinity and beyond. So sounds like very space, Star Trek kind of talk, so I'm looking forward to that. Shalini also has a BTech, BS in computer science from IIT Bombay and MS from Penn State. Shalini believes in doing the right thing. She has strong ethics and always pushes the team to manage within the context of what's right for both the business and the ecosystem. So she will talk about her journey from technology to media.
Can we go to the first slide? Can we go to the first slide? Okay. Yes, it's fine. It's perfect. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Nice to see all of you here. I'm Shalini. Like all of you, I'm from IIT. And so in true IIT style, this deck was put together last night through an all-nighter. It reminded me of when I was doing my BTP project, where I'd pulled an all-nighter and presented the next day, early morning, to Slum. If any of you remember Slum from IIT Bombay, he was my advisor. I did pass that BTP project, so hoping I will pass this presentation with you. What I thought I would do is, as I walk through some of my experiences in life, just kind of walk you through what I learned from it. Hopefully it'll apply to some of you in terms of your own thinking of how careers manifest themselves, especially in the Bay Area. So my first thing was, I always wanted to be someone in Bollywood. That was, I grew up in Bombay, media was like a big thing, and I always wanted to be involved in the media industry. And I actually had a very small part to play as a child actress in one of the movies. To my chagrin, that movie did so badly that even my parents did not go to see it. I checked last, a few days ago if it was on YouTube, and it was not even on YouTube. So I realized, I'm probably not going to do a good job being an actress in the media industry. So I thought, okay, how can I maybe use technology? I happen to be good in math, so I thought, okay, how can I use my math skills to be involved in media? And at one point, I stumbled on this, it's supposed to be a video. I don't know why it's not playing. Well, this is a video. Okay, here it comes. I'll just show it to you for 1 minute. But in the mid-'80s, I stumbled upon this video that was done by Pixar Animation, very, very early days of computer graphics. And if you look at this video, you can see it's really simple. These are all just cones that are rendering the trees with transparency applied on it. The grass was all texture mapped. This object was just simply spheres and very, very simple objects pulled together. But the emotional appeal that it had, just very simple objects put together, rendered by the computer, the emotional appeal that this little short film had on most people who saw it, not just me, was huge. And when I looked at it, I thought, this is really what I want to do. This is what I want to be involved in some way. And I'm actually going to not show this whole video to you, but you should check it on YouTube. Like I said, it's one of the very, very early days of Pixar. But that's what inspired me, and this presentation is kind of moving all over the place. This video inspired me to say, I want to do something in computer graphics. I want to make a movie through computer graphics, and that's what got me into computer science. So when I joined IIT, I joined in computer science, and then I went on from there to do a master's in computer graphics at Penn State, and then joined Pixar Animation almost right after college, completely driven by the passion of what computer graphics could do to the media industry. Who knew at that time? I mean, those short films, like who knew where they could go? No one had ever done a full-length feature film, although Lucasfilms had started doing Star Wars and those kind of films. But never had we ever done a full-length feature film using CG. And we did that at Pixar while I was there for Toy Story, as well as A Bug's Life. So that's my first lesson that I always keep very close to my heart, and I share with everyone who joins my team, which is Passion drives everything. If you have the passion for what you want to do, whether it's making movies, whether it's databases, whether it's making money, whether it's educating children so that they can actually get to the next level, as we saw with the rural shores, that is what drives everything in the end. My second learning is around what I hear from, especially from a lot of women who come to me, which is, hey, how do I balance career and kids? How do I balance working and being at home? And the biggest lesson for me in that space was, actually, there is no such thing as work-life balance. Work is life, and life is work. And the best way to meet them is to just blend them together. And so, what I have here, which is not, like I said, this is a last-minute all-nighter on a presentation, so not that beautiful looking, but the story is good. While I was making A Bug's Life, I had my first daughter, Sonal, and at the end of the movie, there were about 10 of us who had babies while we were making this movie, and I will tell you, production life is the hardest life you can ever have. Once the theaters are booked 6 months in advance, you cannot change those timelines, you cannot slip on your deadlines, and so that's really long hours. There were 10 of us who had babies during that. And so at the end of the movie, we had a title called Production Babies, which we listed the name of the babies, and Sonal happens to be one of them. So if you go to the credits, you will actually see her name. So this is her big claim to fame. My point being, this is how I feel work and life actually balance, and they blend together. After Pixar, I actually moved on to more of the distribution side of media. I was at YouTube for the last 7 years. And my son, who at that time while I was working at YouTube, and in fact Surbi was with me at YouTube, so my son happens to be a very avid game player on YouTube. I don't know if you have kids. I'm sure a lot of you have seen your kids on YouTube. It's very, very popular for them, especially the gaming, watching other people, get this, watching other people play Minecraft is one of the top things that the kids are doing these days on YouTube. And my son is no exception. He was on YouTube watching some gamer playing a game, and we happened to run an algorithm a few days before where it took down some of the content because it was copyrighted. And one of the gamers was really upset about it, and they were yelling on YouTube about it. And my son came to me and said, "Mom, what are you doing? You're ruining my YouTube experience. I don't know what algorithms you're running in the back, but I cannot watch those videos anymore." It was really a funny scene, but he kind of got that whatever I was doing actually was impacting him in his own life. And so, these are just like stories that I blended together here to say work and life, actually, they blend together. And the best way to deal with it is to let it blend and to explain to your own kids why what you're doing actually impacts them in the long run. It gets them more excited about it. My third lesson in life has been to always thrive and not just survive. So I was at YouTube for 7 years, and I got this opportunity at a very early stage at Google in the TV space. So the goal of this team is to disrupt how TV works. So right now, if you think of TV, it's mostly live, it's mostly broadcast, but now we're seeing over-the-top content coming in. And how does that change the TV viewing experience for users? And so this is a really, really new space that we've taken on. It's very early stage. I have very, very big dreams and aspirations for it. I could have easily stayed at YouTube. YouTube is 1 billion users and growing, lots and lots of engagement, but I wanted to do something from the grounds up again, like I had done at Pixar. And that's just my motto, is just, I always want to thrive in new challenges with new things. And I think that it works for most people. So my message here being, always take that challenge, always try to thrive and not just survive. And then my final message, and I'm getting the 1-minute sign, but my final lesson was that it takes a village. I mean, we've all gone through our ups and downs in our lives. I have gone through many downs, and having a village, my husband, my kids, my husband Raj Pai is actually also from IIT, but having him, having his support, having mentors who have believed in me, one of my mentors who is also my coach, he's always my advisor, He yells at me all the time. Whenever I'm talking to him, he's yelling at me. But he's also telling me at the same time, I believe in you. You can do this. You can take the leap. And that is what always has gotten me through. And so the flip side of that is also giving back. So I want to be part of that village, giving back to the village. And so Raj and I just recently started something we call Tech Lab, which is a program that we run for kids in our community to help them learn technology and help them get comfortable with technology in a very, very fun way. So that's my little plug to have your kids enroll for Tech Lab this summer. We are open for business. So in the last 30 seconds, these are my 4 life lessons that I wanted to share with you. Passion, I think everything starts from passion. Don't worry about work-life balance. There's no such thing. Just include work in your life and include life in your work. Always seek to thrive, not just survive. And finally, it takes a village. All of us are trying to give back. Murli just spoke about his wonderful vision about giving back. TV Raman, who works with me at Google and who is actually my classmate at IIT as well, we're always working to give back to the community, and I think that's really important, and so that continues to be a motto for us. Thank you very much.